Today is June 19th, 2019. I'm going to do a Hobbit Garden review. I'm in my greenhouse right now. I hope you got to see the President's speech last night, and it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on over there in the UK. I do wonder who will be the next Prime Minister. It looks like Boris is the front runner, but we'll know in about a week or two. So here we go. Last weekend I went down to City Market here in Kansas City, and I went to Planters Seeds Company. I hope you guys, if you're nearby, I hope you guys know about Planters in the City Market. But I came back with some pumpkin seeds. We had a very good seed salesman down there. She was telling me that this is good time for planting pumpkins for the fall. If you plant them now, they'll be ready in the fall. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I also came back with a box of bananas. It was like $3 for a box. Now, those bananas, by the time I got home after running around, half of them were starting to, feel a little bit soft. So I made banana bread and banana apple bread, but I didn't really get the mixtures correct, it looks like, and it's more banana bread, very thick and heavy duty. And then today the rest of the bananas were getting very soft, so I had to do something with them. So 9 of them I ended up making more banana. In fact, they're in the oven right now. And this time I tried to get the mixtures a little bit closer. We'll see. And so I've had banana bread, and I'm not sure what I'll do with all this banana bread that's in the oven right now. Well, I was making a pizza, so I thought, well, I better do something. I did freeze 3 of the bananas. I should have taken a look. I should have frozen more bananas quicker, was what I should have done. But anyway, so if you're nearby and you want to come over for tea and banana bread, I've got both. Here, let's get going. So it's in the afternoon. I did a little bit of videotaping in the backyard, and so that's already been done. And as you may have noticed, I changed my shirt to a green shirt because I got flour all over my black shirt. So I don't know if these grapes from seeds are going to pop up. So I planted a whole bunch of peppers today and some basil. And look at that basil plant. Look how big it is. So the basil, this time of year, the basil is just booming. And when I went to plant the basil in the cups, the roots were just so expanded. Like, I still got a few basil plants in here, and I still have another pepper. Either I need to plant this out or pot it up. But I planted out a whole bunch. And look at this borage. Now this is from 6-9, so the borage is coming up. I had a friend named Hazel who planted borage in my garden, and every year I got borage from that original plant, the seeds reseeded. But this year, no borage. So I can't have that. I gotta have borage. It's good for the bees. Not that I eat it. And look, my sister-in-law gave me bok choy, and look at that. Of course, I planted it on the 9th, and but that's doing great. And look at that. I need to, here soon I'm going to have to pot that up or do something, or pot it out. I don't know. Truth is, I don't even know how to use bok choy. But oh, here, Mr. Thumbs. So this is kind of what's happening. And pumpkins, where did I plant my pumpkins? So I'm working like quite a bit on a secret pumpkin patch, and I've planted pumpkins here, 6, and then I planted pumpkins in one of those containers, this black one here. I think 6 seeds. So I've got a number of marigolds. Last week I thought these were marigolds coming up, but no, this really is mixed flowers. This is not marigolds at all. So that'll be interesting to see what flowers those are. The marigolds have not popped up. They're being difficult. Look at that. I did like 3 or 4 containers of marigolds, and none of them have popped up. So it's been, what, from the 7th, the day's the 19th. So what is that, 12 days? Almost 2 weeks. I've had some of my lavender die, but that one seems to be making it. And, well, if it comes back to life, I'll tell you that story. I was given that plant down at City Market. There it is. You got the story. So a basil plant I just popped up. Look how it was in a little cup, and it just needed to be potted up big time. So the lettuces, I've been eating lots of lettuce and salads. I'm making pizza tonight, so I doubt, well, maybe later on tonight I might. And look at that basil that I potted up last week. Look at that. It's really looking healthy. Now, I haven't planted anything in here. Oh, I should plant some of that basil in here maybe. Anyways, I'll plant something there someday. Maybe. So looky here. Everything's going to seed. And look at this one. Look how pretty that is. That is beautiful. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all that seed. Now the okra is coming along. Now, here in a week or two, it's going to shoot up. It's already starting. The corn. Now that okra will be, what, 6, 7, 8 feet tall. It'll be very tall. And look at these peas. I've been picking a lot of peas. Not today. And it looks like that one needs to get picked. But look at that. So I've got bowls of peas. In fact, I have 2 or 3 quarts bags of peas in the freezer. I just have a lot of peas right now. In fact, if I'd come out and pick today, I'd get another quart or 2 for the freezer, because I've got bowls. I've got bowls of peas inside. In fact, I took a picture, and so it should make the film. And more. Again, look how pretty that is. See how that's come apart? And then that purple one. And look at this one. Oh, it's 2 different ones. Interesting. Beautiful colors. And I think a lot of those will be leeks and cucumbers. So it'll be interesting to see what I do with it. Now I do have some, can you see that? Finally, I've got some tomatoes taking shape. Now those are, I think those are actually big tomatoes, so it may be another 2 weeks before they start to turn. Anyway, they're starting. It may be July before I get tomatoes. And look at that cucumber plant. Wow, it's beautiful. Now I do water these cucumbers every day or 2. And it rained a little bit. I don't see any cucumbers though. There's some nice flowers. And there's a squash plant over there that, well, it looks, I don't know what to say. I did cut 1 or 2 squashes from it this last week, and I've given some squashes away, and I've eaten squash pretty much every day this week. So I've had the squash. Now, I've got to look up on onions, but I think this means these onions need to be picked and starting to store when they fall over like that. I don't think they're going to pop back up unless it's, unless it becomes the fall, and then they'll start going to seed. So I don't want that. I've got enough onions and leeks going to seed. So that's beautiful. Look at that. Wow, that mint and lettuce. That's picture. And there's a nasturtium flower. Look at that. That's very pretty. So at least I've got one nasturtium flower. Let's go out front. Let me show you what's happening. Again, these plants, really, I don't know what to do with them. Maybe I'll plant them in the secret garden, see if anything happens with them. But that secret garden is going to be on its own. But it's better to be in the secret garden than in cups, because they can't grow. So it's beautiful cucumbers coming on. I can't wait for cucumbers. Now there's no better snack for me than a cucumber, because it fills you up and there's no calories, and I feel so happy. Oh, look at this. That's a beautiful, those are some beautiful peas, and they're so tasty. I love to put those fresh peas in my salads. Now look, I came out here, I think it was either yesterday or today. No, yesterday. And that grapevine was just going everywhere. And it was getting up in my peach tree and in my apple tree, and well, I'm not sure if this is even a good vine because there's no fruit on it. So I just cut it back, and that's life. I almost think I'm snookered. Look at this, man. I can't wait to find a cucumber. Now it did rain last night, about 1/8 of an inch. Not too much. Damped things a bit, but that was a blessing. It did not fill up the rain barrels, and pretty much all the rain that did fall and went into the rain barrels, I used already, I think. I went ahead and watered some things, but it wasn't a lot. Now this, Alice Craig, now those are big onions. Can you see them? Here, let's go closer. Now that's, and look, it's not falling over or anything. So those Texan onions are like saying, pick me, but these Alice Craig look like they're ready to keep growing. I hope they get bigger and better. And anyway, so cantaloupe. So this last week eating, the main things I've been eating is lettuce, peas. I have some green beans, but I haven't been eating them really. But I've got a couple bowls picked. And look at this. I love it. Those peas are starting to come up everywhere. So that's kind of what and of course the lettuce from the garden. And maybe I eat a little bit of the mustard, but look, it's going to seed. But if I wanted mustard, I've got mustard way in the back. So I haven't been watering these peppers, and they look sad. I need to water them. So look, can you see that? Peaches. So if these guys keep going, and I like this, peas in my peach tree. Now see, if it's bearing fruit, I don't mind things in the peach tree if they're like, if these grapevines would have been full of grapes, I'd have left them in the peach tree, but they weren't. And I'm thinking these are not, I'm thinking bad thoughts about those, my two grapevines. Because I've been fighting vines, wild vines that look like grapevines in my secret garden. I'm talking about, it's war. I mean, I'm digging them up with a mat axe. The stumps and stuff, and the roots. The vines are above the ground, but the vines under the ground are just as bad. I'm talking about the roots are on top of each other, and it's a nightmarish. So I'm not sure how that'll come, but look, can you see that? Now these pole beans, now there's some flowers on them, but just that it's starting to turn green. Now when I walk through the garden, I'm starting to rub up against the corn. It's coming out. And this is June. So if things keep growing by July and August, I'm not sure how I'll walk through this garden. It's going to be crowded. So we'll see. And that okra over there, you can see it. That okra, when it starts growing, it'll be the end of July, August, but that'll be really something. That'll be so tall, Lord willing, and it'll be just fruit and fruit until it freezes. Okra keeps producing until it freezes, and so do tomatoes. Today is the 19th. I went down to City Market and bought some purple rice. It says Wise Wife, and this is a product of China, or yeah, it says a product of China. So I put some of the rice in a damp rag on the 16th, and so within 3 days it's already starting to sprout. So that's some pretty fast germinating rice. So I wanted to, this is one experiment. So this rice is growing, and I've also went and bought some long grain rice, brown rice, and of course that's only been in there 1 day. So we'll see if the brown rice is as energetic as this purple rice, which is supposed to be very healthy. I'm in the backyard, so we're gonna go over this. Last night we got about 1/8 of an inch of rain, not too much. It might rain today or tonight, and we could use a good raining. I was down at City Market over the weekend, and I got that rice I showed you, that I'll show you, some purple rice, and I've started a rice growing project. And also I was down there, and they were saying this is the time of year to start pumpkins for the fall. And so I met a good salesperson, and I ended up buying some pumpkin seed. I'm trying to start a secret pumpkin patch way in the backyard, and I'm working really hard cleaning brush and vine stumps and things like that out. I'm having to dig out a whole bunch of nuisance things. So it's slow going. I'm hoping to plant some pumpkins here this week. Anyway, I started some seeds just in case I can't get the area cleaned quick enough. So I'll have some pumpkin popping up in the greenhouse, Lord willing. So here, let's go through the backyard and show you what's happening here. So if you remember, this bed here was one of the later beds that I actually took to plant, but it's coming along great. Look at that. The cucumbers are really spreading out, and I had that one squash plant. So this bed is doing real well. And the this little garden here in this wheelbarrow type thing, look at that. The mint's not looking so well, isn't it? The cabbage has been all eaten up, but it's been fun growing that. Now here's my rice project. I've taken 6 inches of dirt, and then I've covered it with water. Now this is you can see the brown rice sitting on the top. I thought I pressed it into the dirt a bit, but we'll see if it grows. And this one here, I did this yesterday, and that's the purple rice. And this one here is the purple rice. Now this look, it's kind of a plastic sink, and there was a big hole in the bottom, so I lined it with plastic. So we'll see. It's holding the water. So we'll see how this rice project works. I've just, like yesterday on the 18th, I started it. So that one is purple, purple, brown. So we'll see what happens. Now I've just planted out these peppers in my watermelon patch. Well, one watermelon vine. And then cantaloupe, and I also put in a basil and another pepper. So there's actually 4 pepper plants and a basil plant. And then another basil plant. And I just planted out a couple more. That's a pepper basil. They were getting, they're starting to grow too much. And so I needed to get them planted out. Now, I've had a couple of zucchini squash off of these plants. And at the moment, I put down those plastics. I'm hoping that bugs will hide underneath it and I'll kill them. So I don't see any bugs except some roly-polies, a couple. So anyway, that's what that's about. And you can see I put another pepper plant and basil plant out here with my butternut squash. Now I got these from my sister-in-law. So they're starting to get a little bit bigger. Look at that. So 2 butternut squash and then some garlic chives, I think that is. So the potatoes over there looks like one of the plants is starting to flower. And this little bed over here. Now if you guys remember, all these beds I planted late. But look, they're all coming on except, well, I haven't really planted anything in this bed because it's mostly under the shade. And you can see that one little cabbage I planted there. So I wonder what I should plant in here. If you have any ideas, let me know. Something that grows pretty good under shade. So some cantaloupe starting to spread out a little bit, and some flowers. And another little bush cucumber. It's not really doing so much, but it has some flowers. Now I've been picking some beans off of these little bean plants. And what is this? Oregano? I think that's what that is. It looks like it's flowering. And then these are all, wow, maybe I planted them too close. 5 tomato plants. They're all volunteers. Okay, that's kind of the back. And way back there, back by the cherry trees, that's going to be the secret pumpkin patch. So that should be interesting to see if that takes off. Okay, love you guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this garden update. It's been a beautiful day, a little bit overcast. I did get a little bit of rain on me today as I was out digging up stumps and things in the secret garden. And so it's been on and off in terms of that, but then it didn't rain. It didn't give me a full rain, and I'd like to have my rain barrels filled up, and I'd like everything watered well. So we'll see how that all comes out. I can smell the I can smell the banana bread baking right now. I better go in and check things. The pizza's out of the oven. I better go and have my lunch, dinner. I kind of, when you're working outside, you don't necessarily make stuff inside. So that's kind of today. Okay, love you guys. Bye-bye now.